Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you have joined us here on this Thursday. And joining me, Milan Yerkovich. Hey, Milan.
Hey, Steve.
And Dr. Jill Hubbard, two great, wise people. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Milan.
Hey, Jill. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Now, we've got Valentine's Day coming up this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from a man's perspective, never good to give a woman a toaster on Valentine's Day. But
you'll be toast if you do.
Any other hints that you guys have?
I had just taken a swallow of coffee when you said that, and it almost came out my nose. I'm just telling you.
I mean, I've never known that to be a good thing.
No,
but
not on the radio with the microphone.
Here's a great gift. Is you guys sign up for our Intimacy and Marriage Intensive.
Mm-hmm.
That's Saturday, the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
You could still sign up. It's online. It'll never be easier. We're going to go back to face-to-face pretty soon. So if you want to do something that doesn't require travel, this would be the thing. We've never, ever ceased to be amazed at the change that can take place in both people in a very, very short length of time. So I really hope that you would think about joining us. It could change everything.
Steve, we always hear the following things, many, many things, but some of the most common are, I've never heard this before, these kinds of things.
Yep.
These are new ways to look at myself first rather than my spouse. Thirdly, I've learned new ways to listen to my spouse so that we can feel more heard by one another, and we're developing more compassion and sympathy for one another.
Yeah.
And we're listening better. Anytime those kinds of things happen, Steve, it just is a powerful, powerful weekend, or in this case, a powerful 12 hours.
There's something else we hear too, and it's this. So I discovered I'm not crazy. I haven't been unreasonable in my expectations. I haven't worked on me because the other person is such a problem in our marriage that I've just quit working on me. But I'm not crazy. I can work on me because now the other person is working too. So we both can do the work and pull this thing back together. It's an amazing experience, and I hope and pray that if you need it, you're going to go. And you can find out all about it, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Yep. And also, maybe it's not you two going to that. Maybe you know you're the problem. We had somebody back in 72 that thought they were the problem in the marriage, and they got help. But you can get the help you need so that you can be the partner you want to be. And how many times have we worked with people that they just didn't do anything for whatever reason? They were paralyzed. Pick up the phone. Let the folks that we've got in the call center help you figure out a strategy other than wait, wish, and wonder. That is not the way to do it. You have to take some action. There are no points off for making one phone call to see if there's help available for you. No points off. Nothing negative about that. You're just calling to inquire. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Well, you hear the music. We will take a break and come back for New Life Live. Thankful to all you supporters. So grateful for all the gifts that you give us. You allow us to do this. It's a little bit expensive being on the air. We have to pay for our time. When you support us, my wife and I wrote a book, The Mediterranean Love Plan, taking the secrets from the Mediterranean, some of the things that we learned about those cultures that could give you the marriage that you're looking for, at least a picture of what it is. So we'll take this break, come right back after this.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, February 13th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Yerkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. We're going to go to the phones, 1-800-229-3000. And let's go to Chuck. He's calling from Evansville, Indiana. And Chuck listens on Sirius XM channel 131. And that's 1 o'clock Eastern. Hi, Chuck. How are you today?
Hello.
How's it going? How can we help?
For you,
yeah.
My question is, how do I date 20 people? I'm basically fresh back into the dating scene at 61, and my job as a truck driver only allows about 34 hours, 36 hours each weekend. And I am home most weekends, but not every weekend.
Okay. And so your question is, how do you've read one of the books and it says date 20 people, and you don't know how you could ever do that. It's just too much. Well, I would say that it's going to be difficult for you, and a marriage has to be difficult if you're away that much. But really the spirit of that is to be available to meet people, not distant, to be willing to strike up conversations, to be willing to check out when a friend says, hey, I'd like you to meet somebody, to get on a dating site so that you are available if anybody's interested in someone like you. That is so different than just sitting at home doing nothing, wondering, why can't I have a relationship? Now, how long ago were you divorced?
Actually, it's been about 5 years.
Okay, so you're not rushing into this, is what I was trying to check on.
No.
But I do think, if you try for 20 and you hit 15, that'd be so much better than you marry the first person that's nice to you. When John and Henry, they knew what I had been through, and when I was left, they said, you have to promise us that you're going to date this many, because we're afraid the first woman that's nice to you, you're going to think it's God's will. So I entered that agreement with them.
But Steve, in all honesty, it's not like you had 20 ongoing dating relationships, right? I mean, the short answer is, how do you date 20? One at a time.
Yeah.
And it's like go on 20 dates, right? And nowadays with the online dating, I know a lot of people who are doing online dates, right? It's like an online coffee date to just have some interaction and get to know someone to see if they would want to then meet someone in person. And
well, I'm glad you clarified. I never had 20 relationships going. I just, would go and date people. And, I had about 3 couples tell me that this one lady, it was just meant to be. We ought to go out with her. And I've never been with a worse human being in my entire life. So you just never know what's going to happen. But I hope you'll persevere in there and not give up, because I do think, that there's a chance you might find somebody, but it'll be, with all that time in that truck, it'll be
I
tough.
do have something I want to say to Chuck.
What is it?
Hey, Chuck, you described a very difficult career and work schedule with respect to time. And I'm guessing you've probably been in trucking for a while, and you may want to ask, was this a contribution to the loss of my last marriage? And how much did this play with respect to being apart and not growing together emotionally? I know some people who have jobs like yours that are very close to their spouses because they talk a lot on the phone, and they talk every day, and they FaceTime. And so one of the things I'd want to work on, Chuck, is if you're going to date someone, you would want to date someone, but be a different person perhaps than the one who just got a divorce. And just, is there anything that I did to contribute to that? It's a hard question, but we wouldn't want to walk into a new relationship without being new and improved. And I think that's an important lesson, especially with the difficult, challenging job you have. And by the way, thanks for driving those roads for us, because we need you.
Yep.
And yet it is a hardship, and we really appreciate that.
So what do you think about what Milan said, Chuck, about dealing with any contribution to the problem in the marriage?
Well, actually, I've been divorced twice, and I've tried my best to improve myself on where I may have been part of the problem.
Good for you.
Good.
As far as the online dating, I have tried that, but minimal success.
Yeah. Well, it's very tough in this day and age, but I do think it is actually easier than before there were dating sites and internet and Zoom and FaceTime and all of that. And, you know, when I met my wife, we just texted each other for about 6 months, and then finally we talked on the phone, and by the time we ever had a date, we knew each other pretty well. So I wouldn't give up, and I hope that, you know, something we do could help you. One of the things that we've got going, it's called the Emotional Freedom Intensive. Chris Williams and I do the Emotional Freedom Intensive, and that's something that anybody that's divorced or struggling in a marriage and you want to work on yourself, it could provide some great benefits. In fact, what I'll do is I'll send you the Emotional Freedom Workbook, and I hope that'll be a blessing to you there. Thank you for calling us, and again, thanks for being out there on the road. All right, let's go to Debbie, Cincinnati, Ohio. She listens to us online. Hi, Debbie. How are you today? What's going on? Debbie, let's see. Where did she go?
My life without you guys. I love it.
I'm sorry, we didn't pick up very quickly there, Debbie. What was that you said?
No, I said, hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I said, I love you guys, and I don't know where I'd be without you. I listen to you almost every day for the last 25 years.
Well, I'm glad I asked you to repeat it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
You're welcome.
well, how could we help you? What's going on?
So I've been married for over 35 years, and the man I'm married to, he's a believer. He came to know Christ later than I did. I was 12 when I accepted Christ. He was 25, but 23, excuse me. But anyway, we started a family early after we got married. We have 2 grown children. We have almost four grandchildren. He's very successful at his career, but our marriage has just never been a success. And so I'm finding myself in a dilemma because there's some things that are happening that just aren't okay anymore. And
such as what? What's happening that's not okay?
So the thing that's not, what I found out, he started lying early in our marriage, and it wasn't pornography, it wasn't things like that. It was, he would do something, and then something would happen, and then I would say, what happened there, or whatever, and there would be a lie. And I knew that was happening, but I would ask him, I'd say, are you lying? And he'd be like, no, I'm not lying, and he would get very defensive. So he's always been very, very defensive. So anyway, late in the last couple of years, the lying has really come into the light, and we've been in counseling. I've been in personal counseling for 4 years. He's been in individual counseling for a year and a half, and we've been in couples counseling for over 2. we're really not making any headway at all. And the two things that I thought maybe you could help me with, because the counselors are not able to get this out of him or make me understand. The two things I don't understand is I will ask him a question about something. Like I'll say, like he said it early in the year, he said, I want to be that husband that shares my devotions with you, or I share scripture with you and we talk about it. And I said, that's awesome. And so Friday night, I said, I was cleaning up the kitchen after I'd made dinner and we were just chit-chatting. And I said, hey, did you read your devotional this morning? Because I got him the same devotional that I've been using. And he goes, yeah, I read it. And I said, remember you said we were going to talk about, we were going to start talking about those things. I said, I would really, that I haven't, we haven't done that. And his immediate reaction was, I didn't commit to that. And I was just like, whoa. I go, what? I go, wait a minute. And that's common.
Okay,
that's
so what
common.
is the specific question with regard to that you want us to help you with that?
Okay, so what can I do? So it's the defensiveness. And it's also, I will say something to him, and instead of him hearing me finish my sentence, he takes the first part of the sentence, has some conversation in his head, and says that I said something I didn't say.
Well, so other than him being angry, controlling, and not able to have a relationship, a woman, because of his relationship with his mother, what else is going on there? See,
I think you said everything I said.
There are no magic words that we can give you that's going to impact a lifetime of lying, distance, disconnection. But maybe, Milan, you're thinking of something, and then that she could do to help.
Well,
because
Debbie,
I'm at a crossroads. I'm at a dilemma. I have to do something.
Yeah. Okay.
Debbie, I'm impressed that you guys are putting in a ton of effort into this. Okay, that he's in individual counseling and you're in individual counseling, and that you're in couples counseling. To that, I would simply say, not all counseling is created equal. Some counselors are very indirect, and they really don't try to take you in a direction. They just explore what's inside you and react to that, and they're trying to take you in a direction indirectly. But to be direct is to really face issues and be very challenging. And you said earlier the counselors can't seem to get there for whatever reason. But really what's going on here is your husband's extremely reactive. He's reactive, okay, which includes jumping to conclusions, not letting you finish sentences, having high reaction levels to a challenge. And that's really more what needs to be addressed. What is that reactive button that gets pushed over and over and over again? And then if there is a lie, one of the reasons people lie is because of shame. They don't want to look bad. So one of the things that I think would be very important to explore, and hopefully counselors are doing this, is how big is that shame button? Where does that come from? How long's that been there? I guarantee it's been there a long time. And then if nobody is connecting his childhood to his adult experience, that too is something that needs to be worked on as well. Because if he does have shame that he's trying to disguise with lying and blaming, then shame is usually put in very early by someone else, a parent, or the lack thereof. So I just encourage you to really work with him and talk to him about, instead of talking to him about the issue, just ask him, what is that reactivity that just happened right there? What were you feeling when you just said to me what you just said? You were feeling something. What are the emotions underneath?
Now, would it be typical that you would say to that counselor, here's what happened, and I wonder if we could work on this. I started to say something, and he interrupted me after the first part of the sentence. Is that something you're open with about with your therapist or not?
Yes, I'm very open with my counselor about it, but when he goes to his counselor, he doesn't. And he said, again, the thing that keeps coming up, and again, like I've been listening to you guys for a long, long time, and I'm nowhere near as intelligent as you are, nor I hope to ever be that much. It's too much responsibility. But the thing that keeps coming up is that he keeps saying, I'm not all bad. I don't want to feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like shame
So that's
to me.
the shame thing.
That's the shame.
Yep.
That's exactly
He hears
the
you
shame.
saying he's bad,
Right.
even when you're not saying that.
So,
But the counselor said they tried to do EMDR with him, and they both said, we can't pull anything up. He's so shut down.
right.
And I don't know, after all these years, I want to live my life. I want to be happy, and I want to be loved and love somebody. And I don't know what to do.
Okay.
I don't know what the next step is.
All right.
All right. Hold on. We'll give you a little bit of
yes.
help here. You're listening to New Life Live.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every man's battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book. It showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, February 6th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every man's battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back and talking with Debbie here. Jill, you had a question for Debbie, I believe you did, about what we do.
Oh, yeah. So, Debbie, you've tried so many things, and that's good. That's what we recommend to people. So you've been listening. Have you called yet about the Marriage Intensive Weekend?
We did the marriage intensive weekend back in, when was it? October, September? When was that?
Okay.
The last one. We did it.
Okay. And okay, so you did that. And did you find any movement for you guys?
So sad. It was an amazing conference. I really, really, really enjoyed it. But in the middle of it, it's just, I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of funny. So in the middle of it, my husband took a phone call and walked away from it and was working on helping deal with something else with somebody else instead of being
okay.
It's short-wired the whole situation.
Yeah, so he had a hard time even being there in that process.
Yes.
Like he needed
very
to
elusive.
divert his attention.
Intimacy is a very difficult thing for him, always has been.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, what Milan and Steve have been saying to you makes a lot of sense. And the shame, your husband is so defended. And so I think, bringing that shame into light and into the room and realizing, when he gets reactive, like Milan was saying, maybe even saying, what did you hear me saying? And you definitely need to shift from the content of what you're talking about to the process that happens between the two of you.
And what did you hear me saying? And then how did that make you feel?
Yeah, and how did that make you
because
feel?
he feels horrible when he feels that way.
Yeah. Right.
It's terrible.
And to be able to say, that must be awful that you hear me saying you're bad. Right? And to really empathize with that. And to even ask him, do you want, are you willing to hear how I really feel about you or how I really see you?
And Debbie, did you hear the way Jill just said that? It had so much
the empathy.
See?
Yeah.
For him to hear that empathy, and I love the way you said it because it was meaningful, and that reaches people when they are triggered.
Right. And so Debbie, the hard part for you is that this kind of behavior, it's off-putting. It would easily make a person angry, right? And so you feel like when someone's aloof and shut down and cut off, like you've got to come at them harder, right, to break through. And really, it's the soft answer turns away wrath approach that needs to happen. And so you have to find a way. You have to ask God to help you find a way to have even an ounce of compassion for the wounded boy in your husband.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to suggest to you. You call him up, because this guy is a tough case here. You call him up and say, I talked with the folks at New Life, and they're willing for us to come back at half price of what we paid before. If you'll remember, honey, you took a phone call, and that was pretty much the end. So we really have never done intimacy in marriage together, and I think we need to go and do it and not be on the phone. And just see if the fact that it's half price, I'll make sure that happens. Just see if that might be something that would motivate him.
But don't shame him that he didn't do it. We got that interruption, and I know that was really distracting for you, and it was hard for us both to focus then. So I'm thinking we didn't really get to the heart of it. And I would really like to rehear some of the things that were said because that repetition really helps me. Right? So you don't make him bad. Be really sensitive to not making him bad in situations.
So can you help me? Can you just give me real quickly, because I know you have many other callers to talk to, but how do I not be so angry? Because I'm really becoming very angry.
I know.
I'm trying not to be, but
I would be too.
Yeah, of course. And so this is where you need other places to talk, right? And to vent that anger, right? And think about, someone like him with this much shame, he's so hurt and wounded that he's got to push so much harder. The more defended you are, the more fearful and shameful and wounded you are, okay? So you have to see his degree of walling you off is the degree to which he feels he has to protect himself. And so I think, taking your anger to others and then having people that can talk that through with you so that you can come back to a place of compassion. So you kind of have to step out and look at the bigger picture and look at him and who he is in his process. And it's not fair. Like it's not fair. You deserve someone who can be intimate and who will, be as actively involved as you are. But this is who your husband is. Right?
All right. I'll send you this little book we're giving away to folks, and I hope that would be something that would help you have some insight and some things to do. All of this reminds me of the fact that if everything you say to your spouse, they defend themselves, they're just so defensive, then kind of what we're saying here, either you're saying the wrong stuff or in the wrong way. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, but this is all true. This is all right. Well, but it's being perceived as a threat, as criticism, as negative. So maybe there's a different way to say it. Maybe there's a better way to say it.
Right. Think of them as fragile. How would you approach a fragile
Yeah.
person?
Well, this is really a good case of he's really a problem, but you got to approach him in the right way. We'll be back after this.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, February 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and Larry Sonnenberg is in the studio there. And Larry, what do you have for us today?
Hello, Steve. I've got a little testimony from somebody who came to our intimacy and marriage workshop, and we're going to be doing that again in just a couple days here on Saturday.
Yes. Yeah.
So if what you hear here sounds like something that might attract you, there's 2 things. Sign up for the workshop or make a gift to New Life. We want to keep doing what we're doing and watch God do the work he's doing. We've been married for 36 and a half years. Neither one of us had a clue what emotional connection/intimacy was when we got married. As we're getting older, I realized that the day could be coming when we could easily lose all our abilities, and if we have no connection, we'd have nothing. My husband hates the thought of connecting emotionally and claims to not know what that is. I appreciate the way emotional intimacy was described, discussed, and modeled for us at this workshop. I realize we still have to make the choice, but we're now without an excuse. My prayer is that we will grow in this area and bring connection and intimacy not only to each other, but also to our family and friends. I thought it was really well stated. I mean, that it was not, it's modeled as well, and it's just...
Well, what's interesting about that, Larry, is that nowhere on our planet or in our culture is emotional intimacy or emotional intelligence taught to people.
Yeah.
The idea of, and we are so governed by emotions. And to never ask people what are the emotions that are animating you right now is such a miss, but nobody teaches that. And it's really sad. So they're going to really learn that in this workshop.
And if you're going to sign up for the workshop, this is the day. I mean, we shut the registrations down at noon Central Time on Friday because there's a lot of work that has to be done, being online with emailing, communicating, and such. So sign up, help us, support us. We love what we do. we think God is appreciating it because He's touching it and He's making changes.
He
So,
is.
thank you very much.
We do. We love working with folks, and we love seeing the results. If you want to know about it, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And if you can help us or help somebody get there, please call us at 1-800-NEWLIFE. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Let's go to Ladia in Ontario, California. And she listens on the app, and we're glad she does. Hi, how are you? You're on New Life Live. How's it going today?
Hi, it's blessed. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I love y'all so much. I listen to y'all on the New Life app, and it's just a privilege to be able to get you on the phone.
Well, thank you. We're glad you called.
I need help today.
Okay, what's going on?
So, I know that I'm a recovering people's pleaser. I have the book from Milan, How We Love, and I was able to identify that. And I think I'm a work in progress at least. But I need help. How do I deal with when people don't accept me? I feel like something happens within me, like a sensation, like a rush of emotions when I'm not accepted, and I don't know how to get out of that place. Like my friend, for example, we were supposed to do a course together, and she said, hey, I went ahead and do it already. Like I signed up. And I feel like, oh, I thought we were supposed to do it together, but it's okay. And I felt that rush, that sensation in me, like emotions just, and I'm like, why is that happening? Then I'm in a group, and if they don't receive me the way I guess I'm believing them to receive me, I feel different. Like I feel maybe rejected. I don't know. Like if I'm looking for approval, I asked my friend to have a business with me, but she went ahead and have it with somebody else, and I'm not mad, but yeah, like these are the kind of things that.
All right. Well, people are very, very unthoughtful at times and uncaring. And Jill, can we start with you? What do you think might be helpful here?
I was hoping we would hear from Milan, since he's the guru of that. Well, I think it's good, Ladia, that you have identified this for yourself, and that you're saying that you realize you are easily hurt, and that you're looking for something. There's a certain dependency you have on other people to tell you that you're okay. And that's, something that's missing. And I imagine, as with, so many of us, that was a message you got very early in life, that somehow you're not okay unless those around you said you were okay, or unless they were okay. So it's this kind of codependent living that you don't trust yourself to say, okay, if they're not approving, or if I'm perceiving their lack of acceptance, what's going on with them? What's happened between us? That there are other questions to ask instead of this fear that you have an actual visceral reaction to, right? That takes you over.
And here's what I'm wondering. You're a people pleaser, and I'm wondering if because of that, you'll just be friends with anyone rather than think, you know what, maybe not. And so you end up with friends that will reject you, versus there are some people that you could be friends with. The last thing they would do is reject somebody. Dave Stoop and I have been friends 40 years, and he wouldn't reject me never. And there are people like that are just rejection free. So I would hope that you'd start to think about the choosing process, and maybe improve there.
I honestly feel like they're not intentionally doing it. It was not even. They don't even see it the way I see it. Like they really don't even feel like they're hurting me. It's not something that's constant. It's something I feel like it's me.
So you need to have friends that are more sensitive. You need some sensitive friends that do know how it makes you feel. Milan, you have a thought here on a people-pleasing, friend-rejecting situation?
Well, what you and I speak as a you and I, because I used to be a people pleaser or a pleaser. what I had to get used to was that rejection was a part of adult life. Rejection is, I needed to normalize rejection. I could walk into a room and not have anybody pay attention to me and realize that's the norm. And then to also realize I have people that don't like me, and that's good. To recognize it and realize that's just what life is like. Now, when you feel this rush of something you said a little while ago, Jill said, well, you had a visceral reaction, which your body has a reaction. And what happens is you get a little shot of adrenaline, which is driven by fear. You know, somebody's rejecting me, somebody's turning away from me. And Ladia, how do you pronounce your name?
Ladia.
Ladia, you felt that feeling for a very long time. You know, when you're rejected or not paid attention to. And what I had to do is get used to the fact that it was okay not to be looked at. It was okay to not have people in sync with me. It was okay for people to smile and then take a divergent path, or to ignore me altogether. And so when I walk into a room, I don't feel a need to talk to anybody. I don't feel a need to have to find somebody to connect to for me to be okay. I learned to be okay by myself. And so I had to desensitize myself from a need of awareness and acceptance.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because lately I've been trying to be not force my opinion on others, and be okay with them not accepting my opinion or stuff, and not be, not force that. So I've been learning how to be okay with that and not really feeling down if they didn't accept my opinion and all of that, right?
That's excellent. Good. Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing I learned to do, which kind of connects to our last call where we were talking to Debbie in Cincinnati about shame, her husband, is I started telling stories about myself where I had made a mistake or done something wrong. Like, you wouldn't believe what I did a little while ago. I just spilled a whole plate of spaghetti on my lap. Can you believe that? And I could let people see that I had nothing to protect. I didn't have something to protect and preserve, as though you would think better of me if I hadn't spilled the spaghetti on my lap. And so to tell stories relieves shame. You see, when shame is protecting people from seeing flaws and weaknesses. When I tell people about them, you don't feel shame anymore, because you realize I just told them what I would want to hide. And when you expose it, it relieves you from shame.
And in a better world, I think the parents would help you work through that as a child. You wouldn't be doing it at this age.
Right.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm glad you called. I'm going to send you Milan's book, Milan K., How We Love. Hope that's going to be helpful to you. And I hope that you get some people that won't reject you.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here, and we've got time for another call. So let's go to Marcia, Seattle, Washington. KGNW is the station. And Marcia, you're on New Life Live with Milan Yerkovich and Dr. Jill Hubbard. How you doing? Marcia. Marcia is not there, I guess. Well, if Marcia's not there, I think we're going to go to Steve from Anaheim, California. And so, Steve, you are replacing Marcia. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're all right, and glad that you called us. How could we help today?
Yes. So, I'm friends with a couple from our church, and we're in the same small group together, and an issue came up a while back where the wife does not feel like she is defended by her husband when she goes to see their in-laws. So to put it into context, they'll be over their in-laws, and then the mother-in-law specifically is who she is having a problem with. Mother-in-law will make a comment like, why did you dress your kids that way, or how come your house isn't cleaned up? And the husband never speaks up or defends his wife, and she's asked him multiple times to do so, and he hasn't done it. This has been going on for years.
Yeah. Okay. So your question for us is how to help your friends from church?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to suggest how you help them, but I am going to make an observation. It is every man's job to get over his mother. If you don't get over your mother, then your spouse is never going to be the number one female in your life. If you had the best mom ever, she will never live up to that. If you had the worst mom ever, she can never compensate for that. So whether it's good mom, bad mom, medium mom, every man must get over his mother, and that's that leaving and cleaving thing, and it just doesn't sound like this guy has ever gotten over his mom. Jill, Milan, what do you guys think?
Well, and he may be used to how his mother is, and so he receives it completely differently, but it's invalidating to the wife. Like, let's say she's just extra sensitive because it's the mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law is just one of those really candid, just doesn't filter well, right? And so he's used to it, but the fact that she's feeling hurt needs to be his concern. And Steve, I would think as his friend, since you're taking the time to call, I imagine that you've had conversation with them about this. And as a man, sometimes it's really helpful for a man to hear something from another man.
Yeah.
And especially if you've witnessed it and it's not just hearsay. To be able to say, hey, what's going on there? I notice your mom will say these like kind of sharp things to Susie. And it doesn't seem like you really notice.
Well, Jill, you've hit the nail right on the head. That's the exact situation. I've spoken with them multiple times, and they've asked me to help them directly because of our relationship. But, I've done as much as I can, and I've actually iterated those same sentiments to him, saying that, his wife is number one above his mom, and it just doesn't seem like the situation's gotten any better.
Well, Steve, we're a little slow or a little running out of time here.
So jump in.
The bottom line is he's afraid of his mom. And until we really talk about that he's afraid to have an adult voice with his mother and father, we really have to address that, you see. And Steve hit something earlier. He just rushed by it. He said that leave and cleave stuff. It truly is a part of the biblical mandate to leave your father and mother. And the word leave means to sever or
emotionally.
Cut. And it includes emotional. And many times the parents don't let you leave. I'm still your mom. Do what I say. And I had that happen to me at 40, and I had to say to my mom, I'm no longer your little boy. Don't ever say that to me again. I'm not going to be a good boy and do what you tell me to do. And until we develop that adult voice with our parents, Steve, if you will stay on the line and leave your email with a call screener, I'll send you a piece that I wrote called Learning to Leave Your Parents, and it's out of the life of Christ and how he developed an adult voice with his family and his mom to say, I have to follow a higher calling. And so if you'll do that, Steve, I'll send that to you.
Here's what I'm thinking.
That would be great.
He may be paralyzed to say something when he's with his mother.
Right.
Maybe he could take a baby step. After they get home, he calls his mom and says, hey, Mom, I didn't mention this. I've never mentioned this, but I'm becoming aware that was, it didn't feel very good to her. And I just wanted to share that with you. Now he can tell his wife, I'm sorry I didn't take up for you or haven't all these years, but I did something I've never done. I telephoned her and told her that she needed to change. Now, if you can't take that baby step, maybe you can take an embryo step, and that would be to write her a letter. Dear Mom, when I was there, I want you to know I love you, but there was something insensitive, and I just can't let it go any longer. That might be another angle to suggest to him if he's not willing, for whatever reason, to stand up to her when he's in her presence.
Well, and I wonder, too, are there other ways in their marriage besides with mother-in-law that he doesn't stand up for her? And so it becomes a bigger deal for her in the face of this mother-in-law.
Oh, and in addition to that, Steve, this guy, when he goes home, I wonder how old he is when he sits down in the chair and has Mom serve him dinner again, and how old is he on the inside? He may be 43 going on 13 inside because we tend to collapse into our family system, into the role that we always had. Until we do as I did, Steve, you said it very nicely. What I had to do in my particular case was say, don't ever say that again. There was nothing real polite about it.
Right.
But that's how harsh I had to get.
Yeah. Well, I would just say to anyone, don't wait for Mom to stand down before you stand up.
Right. That's exactly right.
You can't wait for that.
Mothers are fierce.
You have to move, and you have to do something that's very uncomfortable for you and very uncomfortable for her. But you know what? What a great thing when she can get disconnected from you and maybe connect with your father for the first time ever. That could be an outcome. All right, if you need some help, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We're going to send Steve that great piece that Milan wrote. If you support this ministry, we're going to send you the Mediterranean Love Plan. My wife and I wrote it, and I've had rave reviews from people who've used it, because every one of these 7 cultures, we give you about 13 things to do, not difficult things, but they really do give you a different outlook toward each other. And they're a lot of fun, too. So that's our gift to you by calling New Life. That's what we do. Don't forget, today's the day to sign up for the Marriage Intensive. Boy, I really hope and pray that you'll come, be part of this. It could change everything for you right now and for your future. Thank you, Milan Yerkovich. Thank you, Dr. Jill Hubbard. Thanks to all of you who listen, watch, pray, and support this ministry. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.